If you're struggling to earn 3 stars at Town Hall 15, these are the best attack strategies you need to use. Let's break each of them down to increase your 3-star success. To kick things off, let's start with the Fireball Super Witches, as this is a very powerful attack that Town Hall 15s have available to them, especially since you can use this against any base design. In order to start this attack, start with your Warden Walk, which is using the Grand Warden and healers. His goal is just to walk a certain section of the base in order to, 1, create funneling, but also you want to clear out some early defenses that might hinder the fireball. So this way, it allows you to have much better pathing with the fireball thanks to using invisibility spells. You do still want to control where he walks, so using things like baby dragons or 2 Valkyries can actually do that job pretty well. Overall, you want to then use your 3 invisibility spells over defenses towards the outside of the base so you can get the fireball directly into the core. Typically, this is to clear some defenses like Expos, spell towers are in the core, but also the clan castle. This allows you to not deal with the enemy CC, where you can then also cut off the other side of your funnel with the Archer Queen and the Siege Barrack. This is going to allow you to control your Super Witches into the base, and the Queen can either move in with your Super Witches or stay on the outside for a very powerful funnel. Otherwise, we have the Ice Golem and the Super Witches working in with the Apprentice Warden and the Barbarian King. The goal here is to get into the core as soon as you can. This way you can deal with these core defenses like the Town Hall, the Eagle Artillery, etc. You should use a jump spell to get into the base, but also the Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball can really help the king open walls and also still move into the core if he's not in there. But of course, you do want to make sure that you're continuing to use different spells like your rage spells to power up your entire attack as you move through the core, and of course to keep your healers raged up and keeping them healing your troops, in addition to free spells to slow down and stop key defenses. Otherwise, you do have the Royal Champion on the back end with her Electro Boots and Haste Vial to really help her clear through a ton of defenses, and if you're dealing with an enemy hero, you can always use Headhunters in order to take care of it. Otherwise, as long as you get really the steps of this strategy and how this attack works, this will be a very strong 3-star strategy that you can use. Now, if you still enjoy using Root Rider spam with Root Riders and Valkyries, well, you can use it with the Minion Prince for fantastic success against any base design. So in order to start this attack, it's pretty simple. You're going to be using a Royal Champion charge. You do want to use her ability early, so that way you can start using your invisibility spells every 4 seconds. Don't worry about putting them over a particular defense like the Eagle Artillery here. It's going to take constant damage while your Royal Champion is around there. Just keep timing your invisibilities until you run out, and then of course, recall her after the final invisibility. Otherwise, you want to set up the other side of your funnel with the Siege Barrack and the Queen. She's going to be able to clear just enough of a funnel and she can move in with your army if need be. But of course, with the Siege Barrack, it just creates a very powerful funnel. And since this attack doesn't rely on her to be within the base, it really helps. Of course, once a funnel is set pretty much on both sides, you have your Root Riders, you have your Valkyries, and you have your healers with the Grand Warden to work in. This is great, as you can use balloons to look for any Seeking Air Mines early for your Minion Prince and healers, while you also have your Minion Prince to work in. As you dive a little bit deeper into the base, you should use an early rage spell in order to power up your entire lineup of troops as you work into the core, where you should also use the Grand Warden ability. If there is an invisibility spell tower by the Town Hall, I recommend just overgrowthing the Town Hall. It's going to allow you to easily deal with that later, and you're not going to have to worry about the Town Hall bomb at any point. You've also got the Minion Prince with his Dark Orb and Henchman Puppets, which are really, really good at soaking up Seeking Air Mines, even at level 1, while the Dark Orb really just offers a slow that can really help your Root Riders. Other than this, you should be able to clear through a large area of the base, and any other leftover spells like Freeze are perfect for dealing with the Town Hall, but for the most part, you should have more than enough Root Riders, most of your heroes should be up, and you should be able to 3-star most Town Hall 15s with this, as it's so darn strong. Now, if you do enjoy dragon attacks, why not run a short Royal Champion charge with the Giant Arrow and Mass Dragons to get 3 stars? This attack is pretty simple. This is again gonna use a Royal Champion charge, but the idea here is to use a shorter one. You're going to run your invisibility spells every 4 seconds in order to control her to remove at least 1 air defense. Other than this, all the other defenses that go down is just going to be purely for funneling. This is going to allow you to clear plenty of defenses, which is going to make it so much easier for you to send your dragons in. Now, of course, you should recall her and use her on a separate air defense with the rocket spear intact. This should let you clear about 2 air defenses with her for the most part. That is really all you're going to need, other than using the queen with her giant arrow to snipe off an additional air defense. This is also going to help you create pathing with the queen and her healer puppets to create the funnel on the other side. This is really then going to let you use a couple dragons on one side, maybe a couple on the other, before you send the rest of them right into the base. Typically, I recommend going in for the town hall, whether it's in the center of the base or not. You need to have good pathing to get in. Don't worry about the final air defense if there is still one left up. This is going to allow you to push your way into the base, having an early Grand Warden, Eternal Tome, and Healing Tome to keep all of your dragons alive as they push in. Of course, as for rage spells, you want to use it early on, and of course within the core. In addition to having the Minion Prince ability in order to slow down a bunch of defenses, which can really help the dragons, especially under rage. This is just going to allow you to smash through a large chunk, and it should let you get to the back end air defense quite easily, and of course you will be able to clear that with no problems whatsoever. Mass Dragon is just very much overkill, and this Royal Champion charge version is very consistent without the time failing issues of 11 invisibility spells, making it a very strong option. Now, if you don't want to use a Royal Champion charge, I heavily recommend Synchronic's Titan Smash attack. This is a super simple and very flexible attack that can work really darn well. Pretty much, you're going to start this off by creating a bit of a funnel with some Super Barbarians or Valkyries even, and you're going to use the Siege Barrack on one side. You're going to do the same thing with either Super Barbarians or Valkyries, and you're going to use your Queen and the Golem on the other side. Typically, these would be in like compartments, but if there are no compartments, you don't really need to use any super wall breakers in order to enter in, but for the most part, you want to make sure that you're able to create 2 sides of your funnel. This is going to allow you to send in your Electro Titans with the healers, the Barbarian King, and the Grand Warden to start working into the core. I do recommend trying to use as many of your super wall breakers as you can to dive deeper, typically 2 at most. This way, you can get deep enough into the base without the need of spells, where you can then use a jump spell to get into the back end part of the base after you reach the core. This should allow you to use the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome and Healing Tome to protect everything. This should also let you use the Barbarian King's Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots to deal massive damage. As for your other spells, like the skeleton spells, you can use them to distract defenses and really help your entire attack stay alive. Other than that, you have your Royal Champion on the back end part of the base. She doesn't necessarily need to run the Electro Boots, but in this case, we're going to use it because it really does help the Royal Champion deal with skeleton traps on the back end. As long as you have the Haste Vial enabled, and of course any other spells like freeze spells to provide support for her, and of course rage spells to also deal plenty of damage to other remaining defenses or enemy heroes, this should let you clear through any base regardless. As long as you have some cleanup, you should be able to 3-star no matter what. Now, if you're a fan of running the Twin Hog attack, look no further to running the Royal Champion charge with the Twin Hogs for fantastic success. Now, to start this attack, you're going to use the Royal Champion charge with her ability early. This allows you to start using your invisibility spells to keep her invisible, dealing damage to defenses as you work through. You do want to create just a funnel, so clearing something like the Town Hall might not be feasible for everyone, but you will be able to get great value either way. In this case, getting the Town Hall and then recalling her out of there definitely helped. This then allows us to run a hero dive, typically with an Ice Golem, the Barbarian King, and the Archer Queen. In this case, we're able to deal with the enemy CC, which is absolutely no problem for our heroes, and this way we can actually start working ourselves into the base to remove defenses and create a bit of a funnel for our Super Hogs and regular Hogs. As they're working in using their abilities like the King's Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots, we're going to use the Siege Barrack on the other side to cut off the funnel. This allows our heroes on one side with the queen and her magic mirror to do devastating damage inside the base, while our siege bearer controls the other side, clearing out other defenses towards the outside. This allows us to send in our super hog riders, the warden, the apprentice warden, and the royal champion to work in. This should also let you use a couple regular hog riders on the outside to clear out defenses and control their pathing, while also using an early Grand Warden ability to protect everything. As for your remaining spells, rage spells are fantastic for this, as they're going to be able to do plenty of damage throughout the base and just cutting down defenses like it's nothing. And since you had the healing tome and eternal tome, you're able to get enough healing to keep a ton of your super hogs and regular hogs alive and to keep them moving. Other than this, any other cleanup troops are really nice, but for the most part, this really should be able to overwhelm plenty of bases if you really like to use the twin hog strategy. Now, hopefully this helps you understand the 3-star process for these attack strategies, but if you want some more in-depth tutorials on attacks that you can do at Town Hall 15 as well, I recommend checking out one of these videos here that are on screen in order to help you improve your 3-star success.